The World Championship Qualifier has just concluded, and I wanted to make a quick video about my response to it, as I'm sure many will be asking me on stream. This was a 72-hour event of non-stop dueling for a chance to qualify for the World Championship. Top 3 spots in North America would qualify among the other countries competing. Quick background on my history with these events, including KC Cups. I've been to Worlds. I've been first place global twice. I was second in the first ever held KC Cup, and also have a top 4 global finish plus a top 4 in this World Qualifier. Unfortunately, I missed it by a single duel. A competitor won out their final 4 duels within the last 30 minutes of the event. Maybe they were quick surrenders as everyone was rushing in the last 30. In the final ladder update, I was 3.5k points ahead, and in a decision I definitely do not regret, I decided it was highly in my favor to sit on that lead, as my opponent needed 4 duel wins, no losses within 30 minutes. Now, ideally, Konami would give live ladder updates in at least the final 30 minutes instead of everyone going in completely blind as to how well they are doing in the final stretch. Instead, we get static 1-hour updates, not including the final 30 minutes. Also, those ladder updates come 6 minutes late. How does it feel to barely miss it? Does it feel bad? Yes, of course, definitely. It does feel bad to barely miss it again, but it does not outweigh how good I feel about my performance in this event. To be clear, I do not play in the World Qualifier for my business nor recognition. Thanks to all of you, I am doing very well on YouTube, Twitch streaming, my website, and Discord. Great events, the best community, and great content. With the mindset of my business being my main priority, I would not compete in an event like this, as it mentally and is physically harmful, messes up my sleep schedule, and steals my entire weekend away. Was this all for nothing as I barely missed it? Definitely not. Why did I participate at all then? It's not to go to the World Championship as my main motivator. Even though that would be nice to have an attempt at being the world champion, it's also not for the prize support, as I would actually lose money overall by going to Worlds, as I have to skip the entire week of streaming and pay for Gia's plane ticket, etc, etc. While it is nice to have many people rooting for me, and many that wanted to meet me in Berlin, my main motivation was to play in this event to prove just to myself, not anyone else, that I still have the skills to compete on a yearly basis, that I have not become too complacent with not competing, as my main focus is content creation year-round. This is the only competitive event I partake in, as the best players in the game are constantly testing their skills in all of my events as I just cast them. Maintaining top 3 for almost the entire event and then barely missing it by a single duel in what I believe was extremely unlikely, I am very proud of that, and I have once again proved to myself as a top tier player, which I am very happy about that. There will be haters and there will be memes, as there was last year, but that doesn't bother me at all. Also, outside of competing in business purposes, I actually incredibly enjoy the first day of these events, as I get to try hard against the best decks and players of the game. Beyond the first day is when I dread the event itself. My content and community are my main priorities, which is why I do my best to not hide any competitive information, as I am always open and willing to share my knowledge, while also hosting large tournaments right before these events, which I feel overall makes everyone a better player, instead of the majority going into these events blind as to what the best decks are. This is a big difference compared to my early days of competing, where I would mostly go into events very secretively, hiding what the best decks were and hiding the best ways to play them. The Duel Links community is the largest it's ever been, and I'd like to think I at least have a small part in that. Now, moving on from that, my criticisms of the event itself. Firstly, I am happy that Konami made the change to global matchmaking instead of regional, as collusion was an issue last year. On that note, someone caught colluding last year who went to Worlds seemingly did not do so well this year. The best players of the game remain consistent in their performance. I am not happy with this being a 72-hour event. It's a nice, quick idea for a way to qualify for Worlds while the game is brand new, but more than 2 years in, an event like this is simply outdated. Let's get this out of the way. You do need to be a good player to do well in these events. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The problem is, it's at the cost of sacrificing your health and your entire weekend, something that many of the best players are not not willing or are not capable of doing. So the pool of the best players is already severely limited. What makes me sad about this event is any good player having an excuse to not compete in it. Konami needs to eliminate that because it's a definite valid excuse to not want to play for 72 hours. On my recent trip to Japan, Japanese players told me that's why they like my Meta Championship Series events so much, because a lot of them simply cannot compete in the KC Cups nor qualifiers. Now here's a few ideas. Number one, we could make it a 16 to 24 hour event only. Number two, we could make it limited duels throughout the entire event or limited duels daily. Number three, we could limit dueling availability to only 6 to 8 hours per day. Wrapping this up, I am going to try to recover from this sleep-deprived weekend, catch up on my work, and get around to showing you off my World Qualifier decks plus replays. A quick teaser of that is that I happen to be playing the first place NA's deck early into the event. Thank you all for the support. I greatly appreciate all of you. Once again, my main priority is my content and all of you. You all motivate me and make me want to continue to doing better, create better content. I love you all. Thank you very, very much. Dkayed Brigade out.